I feigned ignorance, my heart filled with anticipation for our anniversary. But on the day, I waited for her at the restaurant for 3 hours. She never showed up. Then, I saw the Rolex on her assistant's wrist. I just mentioned it casually. I can't believe Vicky actually remembered. It feels so good to be cherished by someone. I scoffed and commented with 2 words, perfect match. Unexpectedly, Victoria Valdez's call came right after, her voice sharp and piercing. "Sincere Clark, how can you be so petty? It's just a watch." Chapter 1. I didn't offer any explanation, merely stating, "Today is our 3rd wedding anniversary." The interrogation and scolding on the other end of the line ceased abruptly. She hastily shot back, "We're an old married couple. Don't be so childish." She hung up without a second thought. I walked home alone. The night breeze was cool, but it couldn't match the cold cruelty Victoria showed me. To make matters worse, Ethan Thorne had to send me a text right then. "Sincere, the one who isn't loved is the real homewrecker. Let go. You don't deserve Vicky." I couldn't help but laugh. And what if I don't? He sent an explicit photo. In the dim light, Victoria and he were linking arms, drinking from each other's glasses. The background was a hotel room. A corner of the large bed was visible, with clothes tossed carelessly on the floor. In the world of adults, you don't need many catalysts. A glass of wine is enough to inspire betrayal. I saved the evidence. Scrolling through my chat history, I realized Ethan had sent me quite a bit of proof over the past 6 months. It was time for a showdown. My lawyer drew up the divorce papers. I glanced at them and forwarded them to Victoria. She didn't reply and stayed out all night. The next morning, Victoria finally appeared, cornering me at my company's entrance. "Sincere, what is the meaning of this? Just because I didn't spend our anniversary with you?" "Yes, that's exactly why." Victoria breathed a sigh of relief, her tone softening. "Don't be angry. I know you're jealous. Here's a gift. I've booked a place for tonight. Let's have dinner after work. Stop making a scene, and remember to keep a close eye on this morning's contract." Just as I was about to speak, she took a call and left in a hurry. I opened the box she had thrust at me. Inside lay a Rolex, but it was a woman's model. It seemed she had bought a matching pair of watches. She had already given the men's one away and, lacking the time to buy another, just fobbed the remaining one off on me. She couldn't even be bothered to put in the effort to deceive me anymore. "Victoria, what makes you think I'll play along like I used to?" I went into my office and told my secretary to terminate all cooperation with HD Company and reject all their proposals. Did Victoria, whose company only gained a foothold in the market thanks to my technology, really think her net worth had skyrocketed in the last 2 years because of her brilliant investment acumen? People who betray their marriage deserve what's coming to them. The moment the email was sent, Victoria's call came through. "Sincere, what's wrong with your company? The email I received said our proposal wasn't suitable." "What's not suitable? It already passed all the reviews. Nothing is suitable. Whoever drafted that proposal produced a pile of utter garbage. If there's nothing else, I'm hanging up." I ended the call. A friend sent me a video of Victoria yelling in her office. "Sincere, that woman must be crazy, thinking she's untouchable," he texted. "And that Ethan Thorne is even more arrogant, claiming he can land huge deals. She's throwing away a golden goose like you to prop up a lowlife like him." "Buddy, I'm ready to quit too." I immediately reassured him, "Just hang in there for 3 more months, then come work with me. After all, I still needed a man on the inside. Without him, how could I enjoy the show?" I had truly underestimated Victoria. I never imagined she could act as if nothing had happened. After work, I saw her at the company entrance. Victoria arrived holding a bouquet of flowers, dressed in a bright red trench coat, with long wavy hair and black stiletto heels. Her glamorous appearance was particularly eye-catching. When she saw me, she walked over with a smile. "These are for you. Let's have dinner tonight." Chapter 2. I frowned deeply. Was this peace offering for the proposal or for her job? I had no desire to find out. I only knew that her actions disgusted me. "Take them." She tried to force the flowers into my arms. I quickly turned my head aside and sneezed. "Sorry, seasonal change. My allergies are acting up. Stay away from me." I quickly backed away. A flash of awkwardness crossed Victoria's face. She hastily put the flowers aside. "Sorry, I forgot, it's nothing." I took out my nasal spray and used it, finally feeling some relief. As soon as I got into my car, Victoria followed, bringing a wave of perfume with her. It was the same scent I had smelled on Ethan. About the proposal, you should talk to your company's boss again. There's nothing to talk about. Let Ethan Thorne handle it. Isn't he an overseas returnee? Supposedly very capable. Victoria's expression changed instantly. Sincere, I thought you were an adult, but I never expected you to be so childish. I don't need you. I'll handle it myself. She slammed the car door and stormed off, probably expecting me to chase after her and coax her as I used to. But I didn't move from my seat. She was so furious she could barely stand, but she left without looking back. Sitting in the car, I lit a cigarette and took a long drag. Just then, another message from Ethan arrived. You've upset her again. My Vicky works so hard at her company, relying on herself for everything. If you can't make her happy, you should get out of the picture sooner rather than later. Wow, he wasn't even trying to hide it anymore. The other man was brazenly telling me to back off. How utterly ridiculous. I suddenly felt a sense of release. If you can't hold on to sand, you might as well let it go. But Ethan was relentless. I will give Vicky a better life, is that so? I typed back. Victoria was just here looking for me. What makes you so sure she'll choose you over me? Ethan was young, after all. He immediately sent me their chat logs along with various intimate photos. I saved every single one, then replied, I've already prepared the divorce agreement. All you have to do is get her to sign it. After I sent that, he went silent. I knew he couldn't wait. When I got home, I cleared out everything. I packed up all the clothes in her closet. Then I listed the house with a real estate agent. This was my prenuptial property. Victoria wasn't going to get a cent from it. I shipped all of her belongings to her parents' house and called my mother-in-law, Eleanor, and father-in-law, Arthur, telling them these were things Victoria rarely used and there was no room for them. My mother-in-law was still dissatisfied. Then why don't you buy a bigger house? Our Victoria has really suffered being with you. I said nothing, hung up, and sent the evidence I had collected to my lawyer, instructing him to redraft the asset division. I wanted 90%. Then I called a moving company. I moved back in with my parents and told them bluntly that I was getting a divorce. My mom touched my head. Sincere, have you lost your mind? Your career is just taking off, and you want a divorce? What's gotten into you? Are you seeing someone else? My mom raised her hand as if to hit me. I calmly said, the one who's having an affair isn't me, it's Victoria. My mom didn't believe me until I showed her the voice recordings of her conversations with Ethan and all the other evidence. After she saw it, her face turned pale. My mom staggered and sat down on the sofa. After a long silence, she said, that little bitch, I'm going to tear her apart. Chapter 3. I quickly stopped her. It's fine, I'll handle this myself. I'll be living here for a while. No matter how nicely she talks, don't you dare go soft on her. Don't worry. We have a zero-tolerance policy for cheating. I nodded in understanding. Just then, my assistant called to tell me that a company in our industry had invited me to give a technical lecture and asked if I wanted to accept. Accept it. You arrange the time. The lecture was the very next day. When I arrived at the venue as scheduled, I was surprised to see Victoria and Ethan. I was wondering what was going on when it hit me. All the major company leaders would be here today. If she wanted to talk business, this was the perfect occasion. When Ethan saw me, he raised an eyebrow. Vicky, what did I tell you? He definitely can't bear to lose you. He regrets it. Victoria sneered. You've already sent the divorce papers, Sincere. Is there any point in doing this now? I shrugged. Think whatever you want. I'm serious about the divorce. As for today, I was invited to attend. You? Victoria was dismissive. Didn't you say you're just a junior employee? This lecture is a networking event for industry leaders. You? What about him then? I pointed at Ethan. Victoria looked as if she'd heard the funniest joke. Ethan is an overseas returnee. His technical skills are solid. He came back with a prestigious background. How can you compare to him? I understood, but I didn't argue with her. As I was about to enter, Victoria blocked my way. That's enough, Sincere. Don't make a fool of yourself. We'll talk about our issues at home. This isn't the kind of event you can attend. Leave now. I found it laughable. She was telling me to leave? Are you sure? Vicky told you to go. Stop being so shameless and get lost, Ethan added. I smiled, turned around and walked back to the parking lot. At 2:30 p.m., the lecture officially began. When the organizer couldn't find me, he started to panic. My assistant contacted me, and I kept it brief. I was stopped at the door by HD's sales director. She said I wasn't qualified and told me to get lost. My assistant was stunned and immediately reported back. The organizer, Mr. Raymond Shaw, was furious. He strode through the crowd and found Victoria. "You're Victoria Valdez from HD?" She was pleasantly surprised. "Yes, that's me. Mr. Shaw, hello. Today, our HD, you weren't invited today. How did you get in?" Ethan immediately stepped forward. "It was me. I submitted my credentials." Someone next to Mr. Shaw whispered a few words in his ear. Mr. Shaw exploded. "A piece of trash from a diploma mill. A mere assistant dares to enter this event." "Tch. Wait, Mr. Shaw, has there been some misunderstanding?" Victoria quickly tried to explain. "He's an overseas returnee. He's participated in large-scale projects abroad. It wasn't a diploma mill through my assistant's live video feed." I watched Victoria defend Ethan, feeling not a single ripple of emotion. Once upon a time, she knew perfectly well that I was promoted because of my technical skills. She even bought a cake to celebrate. How long had it been, and she had already forgotten everything. Ethan's skill level was, at best, basic coding. A high-level seminar like this was about solving complex corporate challenges. It was far beyond his kindergarten-level capabilities. He wouldn't even be able to understand the discussion. Mr. Shaw suppressed his anger. "Putting professional skills aside for a moment, HD's disruption of this lecture means you are making an enemy of everyone here." Victoria's face turned pale. "Mr. Shaw, what do you mean by that?" You kicked out Chief Engineer Clark, the main speaker for today's lecture." I, Raymond Shaw, am unilaterally announcing the cancellation of all cooperation with HD Chapter 4. Victoria was stunned. "Chief Engineer Clark?" My assistant couldn't stand it anymore and stepped forward to kindly inform her. "Chief Engineer Clark is Sincere Clark. He's the technical expert invited for this lecture. I can't believe you actually kicked him out." Victoria's face went deathly white. Ethan, standing beside her, was in shock. "How is that possible?" My assistant rolled her eyes. "Why wouldn't it be possible? Do you think your meager skills can compare to Chief Engineer Clark's? And you had the nerve to boast outside. Now where did you chase him off to? If you don't bring him back, HD is going to incur the wrath of everyone here." All eyes in the vicinity turned toward them, filled with contempt. Victoria knew this was serious and rushed out, dragging Ethan with her. When I saw them sprinting towards me in the parking lot, I couldn't help but laugh. Victoria threw herself in front of my car. "Sincere, quick, come inside with me. If you don't come now, we're finished." I glanced up at her but didn't move. Victoria grew frantic. "Sincere, I'm talking to you, I hear you. But I don't feel like moving right now. After all, I'm not worthy." Hearing this, Victoria gritted her teeth. "I'm sorry. I was wrong. Now please come back with me." I remained seated. You tell me to get lost and I get lost. You tell me to come back and I come back. What am I, some kind of pathetic dog? I looked at Ethan. "A moment ago you both said I wasn't worthy, so I should go back now." I pretended to start the car. Victoria grabbed my wrist. "What do you want? Tell me." "I'll do anything." I looked up at her. "Really? Absolutely fine. Sign this." I tossed the new divorce agreement at her. The moment Victoria saw it, she erupted in anger. "Sincere, you did this on purpose. You want 90% of my assets? You might as well just kill me die now, or be utterly disgraced later. The choice is yours. HD Company won't spare you just because you're an executive at that." She clenched her jaw. Ethan was indignant. "Sincere, don't go too far. Every penny Vicky has earned over the years came from her hard work. How dare you?" I shot him a sideways glance. "Why wouldn't I dare? And I have you to thank for giving me the evidence." Victoria gritted her teeth, her phone buzzing incessantly. Right now, I was likely the only one who could save the situation. She had no choice but to sign the agreement. "You win," I smiled. "Thank you. And remember, in 1 month, we go get the official papers. I know when to quit while I'm ahead." I gathered everything, got out of the car, and headed straight for the conference hall. After I took my seat, it was no surprise that Victoria and Ethan were barred from entry. They couldn't afford to face Mr. Shaw's wrath and were sent away. Inside, my 3-hour lecture was filled with brilliant insights, earning thunderous applause from the entire audience. I also provided some technical support on the spot, solving some of their major problems. After the lecture, Mr. Shaw specifically invited me to dinner. At the table, he looked at me with a grin. "Today's show was well acted, wasn't it?" "Thank you for your cooperation, Mr. Shaw. A trivial matter. I saw it long ago. That woman is short-sighted, treating a major figure like you as a nobody. Does she still not know your position in the company?" I shook my head. I never told her, and she never cared to ask. Chapter 5. It wasn't that I hadn't tried to tell her, but Victoria was always impatient. She would often say, "I don't need to hear about the trivial matters at your company. What kind of trouble could someone at your level have? Just clock in, clock out, and collect your fixed salary. She was an executive at HD, while I was, in her eyes, just a junior employee. The only thing she found acceptable about me was that my company was the #1 leader in the industry. She didn't care about anything else. At that moment, Mr. Shaw smiled. In that case, what are your plans now? Cooperation with HD is impossible. I hope you understand that, Mr. Shaw. But of course, if Chief Engineer Clark says so, they have absolutely no chance of making a comeback. I nodded, and we exchanged a knowing smile. Over dinner and drinks, the bosses of several major companies understood the situation clearly. Victoria and I were at odds. In the future, HD would likely be ostracized by us as well. When I got home, Victoria called. Her voice was seething with anger. Sincere, where are my things? I've already sent your things to your parents' house. Also, I've listed the house with an agent. You have 3 days to move out. How can you be so heartless? We were married after all. Are you in such a hurry to get rid of me because you found someone else? Her words made me laugh in disbelief. Oh? Was the bed at the hotel comfortable? Victoria, don't make me take you to court. If you do, I will ensure your reputation is completely destroyed. I hung up and immediately blocked her number, wanting no further contact with her. But to my surprise, the next day, Victoria had her parents come over to plead her case. Seeing the 2 elderly people standing downstairs, I took a deep breath and went down. My father-in-law, Arthur, approached me immediately. Sincere, whatever issues you and Victoria have, you should talk them out properly. How can you just decide to divorce exactly? Our Victoria has suffered so much being with you, Eleanor, my mother-in-law chimed in. If she's suffering so much, then why stay with me? I'm setting her free. Hearing this, my mother-in-law's mouth opened, but no words came out. My father-in-law shot his wife a harsh glare before explaining, You 2 have been together for 3 years. Victoria was wrong, but you showed her very little concern. You have your faults too. Now you both shouldn't be so impulsive. It's always best to stick with your first spouse. Don't do anything rash. That's right. You and Victoria should have a child. With a child, there won't be any more problems between you. I couldn't help but laugh. How could they have the nerve? After everything that had happened, they still wanted me to have a child with Victoria. You both know Victoria cheated on me behind my back, and you still want me to have a child with her. I want nothing more to do with your Valdez family. Otherwise, don't blame me for being ruthless. I'm not afraid of a scorched earth outcome. At worst, I'll ruin Victoria's reputation completely, but I will not let you people discuss me like this. My mother-in-law jumped up, ready to argue, but I shot her a glare, immediately took out my phone, unblocked Victoria, and called her. Victoria, you have 20 minutes to get your parents out of here. Otherwise, I will publicize the affair of an HD executive. If you don't want years of hard work to be destroyed, then let them continue making a scene. I hung up and turned to leave. My mother-in-law was still cursing behind me, but I didn't engage further. I simply went back inside and informed my assistant that I would be attending the upcoming Chamber of Commerce banquet and to make the arrangements. Chapter 6. I wanted Victoria to see that without me, she was nothing. It wasn't about being petty with her. I had just never revealed my true status before and had skipped some of these events. But things were different now. About 15 minutes later, I looked out the window and saw Victoria arrive downstairs. She frantically hustled her parents away. The 2 elders stood on the sidewalk, seemingly hitting her a couple of times. Victoria looked anxious as she quickly pulled them away. I couldn't help but sneer. Only now does she feel fear. It's a bit too late for that. Meanwhile, Ethan was still tirelessly trying to provoke me. He sent a text. Since you're getting a divorce, can you stop contacting Vicky from now on? I directly sent him the recording of my conversation with her parents. I had learned to be cautious, not just with Victoria, but with her parents as well. All meetings with them had to be recorded. It seems the old folks are quite fond of me. They even want me to have a child with her. Ethan, you'd better step up your game. Don't end up failing to steal my wife only to get kicked to the curb yourself. Ethan flew into a rage, sending a 1-minute voice message. I didn't need to listen to know it was full of curses. I deleted it without listening and blocked him. He was still too green to play games with me. Half a month later, the local Chamber of Commerce held its annual banquet, inviting executives and management from all the major companies. HD Company's reputation was on thin ice after the incident where they kicked me out. I don't know what Victoria told her superiors, but she somehow escaped punishment. She came to the banquet too, parading Ethan around as usual, completely ignoring the stares from those around them. When she saw me, she rushed over. "Sincere, we need to talk. What is there for us to talk about?" Victoria looked at me with a smirk. "Of course there is. We haven't officially divorced yet. We're still husband and wife. Come over here, I have something to say to you." I had no choice but to follow her to a corner. "What is it? Say it." "The executives at HD have spoken. Because of what happened with you last time, the entire industry has a problem with me. I just need one more project to secure my position. Don't worry, if you help me, I promise I won't bother you again." To this day, Victoria still had the audacity to make demands of me. It made me laugh. "What gives you such confidence?" "The fact that you and I are still a unit. If I don't do well, it reflects poorly on you too. Or do you not want the divorce? Once the 30-day cooling-off period is over, what can you do if I change my mind? Even if you sue me, the court won't grant a divorce on the first hearing, and who knows how long you'll have to wait for a second one. Sincere. As long as I don't agree, you can't get rid of me hearing this," I sneered. "Victoria, you can't threaten me." I refuse. A layer of anger rose on her face. "What's so great about you? Sincere, you're just a tech guy in the face of capital. You're nothing. Then we'll just have to wait and see." I turned and walked away, Victoria clenching her fists behind me. I watched her run around, putting on a smile, but no one paid her any attention. Mr. Shaw came over and clapped me on the shoulder. "Chief Engineer Clark, let me introduce you. This is my niece, Rachel. She just graduated with her PhD this year." I turned to look at the short-haired young woman beside him. She was sharp and brilliant, completely different from Victoria. Her eyes held a wisdom and a sense of distance. I nodded. "Hello, I'm Sincere Clark." I extended my hand. "Hello, Rachel Shaw." Chapter 7. Mr. Shaw looked at me and said, "My niece is outstanding. She just finished her PhD, and several research institutes are fighting over her, but we're not sure which is the best fit. Chief Engineer Clark, do you know anyone who could give some advice? This girl has spent her whole life in an ivory tower and doesn't get out much. As a businessman, I don't understand these highly specialized fields. The only person I could think of with this kind of network is you." He wasn't wrong, and I had no reason not to help. I chatted with Rachel about her field of study and reached out to a university classmate who worked at a research institute for his opinion. Just as we were having a pleasant conversation, Ethan Thorne appeared out of nowhere. He sneered at me. "No wonder you were so snide with Vicky, yet you're all smiles with another woman. Sincere, does she know you're not divorced yet?" Before I could speak, Rachel frowned. "What does my conversation with him have to do with his marital status? You're a very strange person." I nodded. "It's because he has a dirty mind, so he sees everything as dirty. He interfered in my marriage. I've already signed the divorce papers." "So he's the other man," Rachel concluded. Ethan's face turned livid. "What did you just call me? Am I wrong? Isn't this what you wanted, for me to announce it to the world?" Ethan panicked. He knew I was capable of doing it. After signing the divorce papers, my whole demeanor had become more formidable. He shot me a hateful glare. "Let's see what kind of great woman a divorced man like you can find." I just smiled without saying a word. Rachel raised an eyebrow. "Is that what he's worried about? As the chief engineer of Yaohui Group, you think you'll have a shortage of women?" At these words, Ethan froze. Victoria, hearing the commotion, walked over. "What did you say? The chief engineer of Yaohui Group is you?" Sincere, she simply couldn't believe it. I nodded under her astonished gaze. She was completely stunned. "You? Why didn't you tell me sooner?" I thought for a moment. "If I had told you sooner, would you not have betrayed me? Victoria, does fidelity depend on my job title?" My question made her face flush and pale in turns. After a long moment, she said in a low voice, "Sincere, you're so cruel. You set a trap for me and took 90% of my assets. I will not go through with this divorce. Try me." I raised an eyebrow and looked at Mr. Leonard Lawson standing behind her. "I will never cooperate with HD, especially since you employ her as an executive." Hearing this, Mr. Lawson became furious. "Victoria Valdez, look at the mess you've made." HD's reputation was already hanging by a thread. They were hoping to recover their standing at this annual event, but with one sentence I had blocked all their escape routes. And the main culprit was Victoria Valdez. "You're fired as of today. HD no longer has you as a director." Victoria was dumbfounded. "Mr. Lawson, no, please let me explain. It's not what you think, Mr. Lawson, but..." Mr. Lawson had lost his patience. The commotion was getting too loud, and security guards came over and escorted them all out. Victoria pleaded all the way out, but not a single person spoke up for her. As for Ethan, he was about to slip away unnoticed when I stopped him. "Ethan Thorne, the same goes for you. From now on, I forbid you from ever appearing in front of me again." Ethan shrank back, not daring to speak. He knew I meant what I said, and that I had more than enough power to make him regret it. Beside me, Rachel smiled. "This is more like the real Chief Engineer Clark. The way you were before was so repressed. This is the real you." Chapter 8. I shrugged, not denying it. This was who I really was. When I married Victoria, my parents didn't disclose our family's business so as not to make her feel insecure. As Victoria got promoted, she started looking down on me more and more, even belittling me. At first, I thought she was under a lot of stress from work, so I intentionally cut back on my own work to spend more time with her. Unexpectedly, seeing my relaxed work schedule only solidified her belief that I was a nobody, and she became even more dismissive of me. A Rolex is nothing. My mother has a drawer full of them at home. Even if Victoria didn't buy one for me, I could afford it myself. But she should not have humiliated me like that. After the annual event, Rachel and I added each other on WhatsApp. We reached an agreement on a research institute and its future development. I needed talent, and she needed a job to prove herself. Therefore, after careful consideration, I invested in her laboratory. She was going to start her own venture. To thank me, Mr. Shaw treated me to a meal. It was then that Victoria found me. When she saw me, she walked over involuntarily, her face flushed. It looked like she had had a lot to drink, sincere. Seeing her in this state, I couldn't help but frown. "Can I help you? I want to talk about us. We have 1 week left, Victoria. Don't tell me you regret it. I won't agree." Seeing that I had called her bluff, Victoria dropped the act. "But I do regret it. I don't want to divorce you. I still love you, sincere. Let's get back together." She pleaded desperately, which only made me laugh. "You brought this on yourself. I never wanted to have a complete falling out with her. A clean break would have been fine." But she wasn't satisfied and kept provoking me. I took out my phone and sent a message to my assistant. "Victoria, this is your last chance." I shook my phone at her. "The scandal will be all over the internet by morning. You're on your own." With that, I turned to leave. But Victoria shouted defiantly, "You will regret this. I will not divorce you." The divorce was a done deal, but I would use public opinion to make her give up for good. Overnight, my assistant pushed the story out everywhere, spreading the details of Victoria and Ethan's affair all over the internet. He even made sure to tag HD Company. Mr. Lawson issued a statement late that night, clarifying that Victoria had been fired long ago, and Ethan was never their employee. Their actions were personal and had nothing to do with HD. Both of them were now unemployed, and with a scandal like this, finding a job would be impossible. Victoria's reputation was in tatters. Not only did she cheat during her marriage, but it turned out Ethan had a girlfriend before he returned to the country. He got together with Victoria shortly after his return, two-timing them both. When his scandal was exposed, his girlfriend saw it from abroad and went live on social media, branding Victoria a homewrecker. A male homewrecker and a female homewrecker had found each other. Two peas in a pod. However, any information about me was scrubbed from the internet. Victoria tried to leak details, but the posts were deleted as soon as they appeared. She must have realized I was behind it and finally understood the true extent of my power. Without even showing my face, I had completely defeated her. As for Ethan, people dug up his past. He had a history of leeching off wealthy women during his school days. He was a habitual offender. His university was a diploma mill, and he had no real skills, just coasting through life. He had gotten into HD by latching onto Victoria. Suddenly, HD's reputation plummeted. How could a graduate from a diploma mill get into a major corporation? Didn't they do background checks? Netizens relentlessly mocked them. Mr. Lawson was at his wits' end. Even after firing them, HD couldn't escape the fallout. He was furious and vowed to teach those two a lesson. Everyone involved in their hiring process was demoted, fired, or held accountable. Chapter 9. The internet was full of gawkers. Unable to go home, Victoria had no choice but to come to my parents' house to find me. I froze when I saw her. I gave my mom a questioning look. She shrugged and whispered, "You don't hit a smiling face. You two still have a few days before the divorce is final," so I had to let her in. Victoria said shamelessly, "Mom is right. Sincere, we're still husband and wife. I was furious. I'm an easygoing person, but the one thing I cannot tolerate is someone crossing my bottom line. To dare to harass my parents was unbearable. Victoria, you have 3 seconds to get out, but Victoria persisted. I have something to tell you. Ethan and I have broken up. Sincere, can we not get a divorce? I don't want any of your assets. I just want to be with you from now on. She was unemployed, and her reputation was ruined. She needed a safety net, and I was her last hope. Look, I even got the Rolex back. This watch was originally for you. Ethan just pestered me until I gave it to him. Now it's back with its rightful owner. I sneered. You only thought of me when you had nowhere else to go, didn't you? This is all your own doing. The moment I found out you cheated, my heart died. Now get out of my house. Victoria looked pleadingly at my mom. Mom, My mom held up a hand. Don't you dare call me mom. I don't have a daughter like you. Besides, my son has been cheated on so blatantly. The only reason I let you in is because I have class. But don't think class is all I have. I also know a bit of self-defense. If you have the nerve to come here and harass us again, I won't hesitate to get physical. My mom raised her fist, and Victoria, terrified, jumped up and ran to the door. She looked back at me. Sincere, you'll regret this. My biggest regret is ever meeting and marrying you. The past 3 years have been so draining. I don't even know how I survived Get Out after that incident. Victoria didn't come back. A week later, we received our divorce certificates. Surprisingly, Ethan was there too. Sincere, you may be powerful, but all you have is money. What we have is love. I was amused by him. What is love? 2 penniless people with no careers left, with nothing but their pathetic love. Then by all means, enjoy your love. I wish you two a lifetime locked together. I walked away without a backward glance. Victoria watched my retreating back for a long time. Back at the company, my assistant presented me with my schedule for the next 6 months. I had slacked off a lot for the sake of my family, but I couldn't do that anymore. It was time to go full throttle. I had to at least reclaim everything I had lost. As the work intensity ramped up, the employees below me were fired up too. The company's compensation was already good, and with my return, many bonuses and benefits were doubled. They worked with even more vigor. The next time I saw Victoria was at a cocktail party. She was with Ethan, bowing and scraping to others. After she left HD, Mr. Lawson had vowed to blacklist them across the industry. No matter where Victoria went, she couldn't find a job. So she started a small studio herself. Whether it was bad luck or not, the studio consumed all her funds. Victoria's parents sold their old house to support her, even vowing to compete with me. Unfortunately, the current business climate was tough. They had no technology and no reputation. Victoria's journey had been a series of stumbles, and she had already lost most of her investment. Mr. Shaw, standing beside me, remarked, "The whole industry is laughing at her now, just toying with her. Everyone knows she's on bad terms with you. She really played a good hand into a complete mess. People who knew me said I used to be a whipped, love-struck fool. But things were different, now. It was as if I'd flipped a switch, determined to make up for the work I'd missed over the past few years. I hadn't paid any attention to her for a long time. Victoria saw me from a distance. Ethan was pulling her, wanting to come over to me, but she stopped him. They seemed to be arguing about something. It looked like Ethan wanted her to come and beg me, but Victoria didn't have the courage. She knew I would never compromise or help her. Ethan got angry and, regardless of the crowd, slapped her across the face. Victoria stared at him blankly for a moment, said nothing, then turned and walked away. Ethan cursed at her back before turning to another wealthy woman with a fawning expression. They became the joke of the party, and no one paid them any mind. But I knew Victoria wasn't the type to suffer in silence. Sure enough, a few days later, I heard the latest news about them on the trending topics. Victoria and Ethan had gotten into a huge fight, and a knife was involved. By the time the neighbors heard the noise and called the police, Victoria had already stabbed Ethan until he was a bloody mess, and she herself had a miscarriage due to massive blood loss. Both were rushed to the hospital for emergency treatment. Victoria had to have a hysterectomy, and Ethan's reproductive system was permanently damaged, leaving him unable to have children. When they woke up, they started fighting again, their screams and curses filling the hospital. When I saw the video circulating online, I just shrugged. This was the love they yearned for. I hoped they would continue to enjoy it thoroughly. As for me, I led the Yaoi group to new heights. By my side were my team and Rachel Shaw. Her laboratory had started to take shape, hiring a group of PhDs to begin new research projects. She said she loved the tranquility of the lab, and the joy of overcoming a difficult problem was something no amount of money could buy. I would occasionally visit her, and she would share her latest projects with me. With Rachel, I felt as if I had found a long-lost piece. A year later, we got engaged, then married. Everything fell into place naturally.